trying to make some too.
They all love good salt and pepper. They love good salt and pepper. That's the foundation.
Ain't nothing wrong with seasoning.
Nothing wrong. No, I saw this video and this melanated queen was like, listen, I'm eating a steak and it's got salt and pepper on it. That's okay.
And that is okay.
And that is okay.
That is okay. It'll still be right, you know. Would I put garlic on mine? Yes. You know, that's just an extra thing.
It's not that.
Okay.
Marinate that steak.
Marinate that steak overnight.
Get a good steak. Get a little extra. Big ass.
Not the regular.
No.
I know that's right.
This is we don't rename this like big back.
Big back activity.
Big back activity.
Let's get around for big back activity.
Big back activity.
I don't know if anybody loves food as much as I do. I love me some food. No, seriously, I'm so
they look like a set.
like when I was
And then you
dating
zoom in on
before,
each
like you would have to take me to a buffet. That's
Yeah.
the only way I'm gonna be satisfied. That's the only way you're gonna be satisfied with your pocket, my stomach. I gotta go to the buffet so I can just all the food. No, but it's okay. I want both. So go do the real date, but before that, just take me to the buffet.
Yeah, but yo,
Date.
That's
Next
a
one.
buffet because you just pay one price and shawty eat as much as you want.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we still could go out and do our thing, but before we do anything, just take me to the buffet so I can really eat, hold it down, feel me, and then we can go. Yeah. If you're first dating, first.
You can't overdo it and then you go along like. I'm not going
Yeah.
to a buffet though. You don't have to see me eat like that. Like,
Nah, I'm munching in front of everybody. That's the first thing you need to know
you're
about
gonna know
me.
I like to eat, but I'm not about to act all because you still gotta have a certain line of decorum. So we're not doing all that buffet stuff the first time. It's right, the way you eat, the way you go, because I'm still like, I'm a lady still. I still like it, but I'm not doing all that the first time. So you're gonna know I can order a lot still, but like you're gonna sit down and eat.
Yeah. You gotta have a romantic moment still. Get to know
I mean,
somebody.
we're both on the chopping block, right?
Yeah.
At the buffet, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm just eating. Like I don't care what you're talking about. I'm going for the next round.
Yes, you do.
Wait, is that kind of the equivalent of like if you like so you like in summer, like you trying to go swimming on the first date? Like, bro, you're
First
not
of all,
gonna see me.
I don't know what it is with people not knowing how to swim, but I think that's one of my requirements. I think if I'm about to die, you need to be able to save me. That's a requirement. I know what you gotta. I can't. I'm a very good swimmer. I'm a very good swimmer, but hey, you always I want a man who can swim for real. And I just
but my angle was you gotta see me not looking cute on the first date.
Yeah.
Like I'm supposed to come to the pool
You
with
can
like
swim cute.
you can swim cute.
okay, but
So you
like
saying because you're made up.
but then you know if you poke in the water, they're like, oh, she's stuck up. She don't want to. She don't want her face. She don't want her face.
You actually want her face to come
That's
on.
why you asked me.
But that's what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. Like that's what. And then think about the guy. Think about the guy. I'm like, is this a test? Don't test me the first day. But I don't like that.
But you can test them too. Their hairlines be fake nowadays.
You know,
I can tell you. There's a video online of a girl. The waitress spilled water on the dude's head, and he's like, oh my god, his hairline is falling down his face. I kid you not. His hairline is falling down his face.
But during the date, at least was the song.
No, he should have just went salt and pepper. Either go bald or go salt and pepper. You need to make up your mind. All right, but yes. So we're live, y'all. Are we live? We're going. All right. So, let's stop gabbing. You know what I mean? I got to get the gab to go on forever, but we're gonna do a little bit of introduction, starting over here. We're gonna let you introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cassandra. I'm the owner of the Girls Room. We curate monthly events for women to come and strengthen whatever it is they may be battling within the community of like everyone like each other. We also sell sex toys and lingerie, and we host a podcast, and it's called Pussy Talk.
Love it. And then we have the beautiful.
Hello, I am Mila. I am a speech language pathologist, so I have my master's in communication sciences and disorders, and I'm also the founder of First Impressions, Connecticut's first immersive dating experience.
Woo! And I'm Janisa. I guess you could call me like the event curator designer. I'm the owner of Rendezvous Luxe, an event designing business. We do a ton of different things, down to small parties, big parties, large parties, decorations, backdrops, whatever you need. You know, I got it. I'm also just an event organizer within the spaces. That's how I landed myself here on the podcast. So, you know, got my toes in different ventures. I'm also an artist. You might hear a little something later on. So just going to throw that in there.
Yes. Hello, I'm Ari. I am a program coordinator for the City of New Haven and the founder of Mental Harmony Foundation. Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name's Tia. I'm an amateur martial artist, and I'm also an artist of many sorts. I study and dabble into different things from spirituality to geopolitics and theology, and that's what's kind of landed me on the podcast. Speaking with Jamal. So I'm here to just say my piece and have a great time with the ladies, have a great discussion, and expand on different perspectives.
Love that. Okay, so we're just gonna dive right into our topics now that you get to know a little bit of everybody. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing that I wanted to really talk about is self-regulation and emotion. Okay, because this is something that people don't really tell you. They tell you how to act when you're angry, but they don't tell you how to react when something makes you sad. Or what if something makes you extra excited? Am I doing too much if I start jumping around because I'm truly excited? You know, so I think that is a good topic because everybody had to figure that out and learn that lesson differently. So I kind of want to open up the discussion. Is there anybody who particularly would like to start?
Okay, so self-regulation and emotions. This is a big one for me. As a self-proclaimed mental health advocate, I think that this is everything, because everything you do and everywhere you go, you have to be aware of yourself, and you have to be aware of your feelings. Only, God bless some other souls, she used to always say, only you know how you feel. You got to say it. You got to project it or whatever is going on. You have to figure out what's going on with you because only you can feel how you feel. Somebody might think they know, but only you know. So I think that's very important. I definitely would say that it's easier said than done because just in your daily life at work or your family or anything, some days are easy and some days you just, right? You just can't take people, right? Barely to take yourself with the stuff you set yourself. Really, sometimes you I'm one of those people that overdo it. I'll promise you, and then I'll be like, I'm gonna do it, but I shouldn't have did all this at once. And I'm mad at myself for that, and I got to deal with other people. So but I will say this to sum up what I think. I think that you have to be unapologetically you. When I'm sad, I'm not gonna pretend I'm not sad. Does that mean that I'm gonna disrespect somebody or something because of my own emotions? No. But I might not be in the mood, and that's okay. For certain things, you have to be realistic with yourself because if you don't do that, that's when other emotions and other problems develop. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in a good mood, I ain't gonna let you kill my vibe, right? But at the same time, that's all. I just think that we do have to be realistic with our feelings, and that's what it starts with. Just knowing who you are. Then you can control yourself, but you have to know first, right?
Just to kind of branch off of what you said, like knowing your emotions. I know for me personally, A dominant emotion is anger because I grew up in a big household with lots of siblings, and when you have a mom that's always had a new baby, your emotions were like last. So, and you couldn't cry, or else you were seen as like a weaker sibling or something like that. So for me, it's like anger. And over the years, I learned how to regulate that through being extremely active. I believe they call it like somatic therapy or something like that, where you're using that energy in a different direction versus just crashing out on people. And I think a really important theme, especially for this week for myself, just because I'm recently going through a breakup, is making space for yourself. A lot of times people want to check in with you, which is good and it's appreciated, but at the same time, there's like, you have to also find a way to express to people, hey, I'm going through something and I need space. A lot of times they'll take it their own way. Or if you're already known to be a person that has anger issues, they'll look at you like, oh, you're just another person, or you just have your attitude again. But like, they won't give you the space because you haven't fully processed the emotions or given yourself the space to even actually process it, because you're finding ways to be busy instead of being still and like working through what you're feeling. So I think that's an important part of it too, just making that space and knowing how to express that to people so that they don't take it as a personal attack. You just not in the mood. You need your space, So that's one thing I would definitely say.
Yes, 100%.
I think it's also important to be authentically you in a safe place. So I know people like to say be yourself, but is it really safe to be yourself everywhere? It's really not. So you have to be responsible for knowing like something may have happened to upset me, but this is not the time to process. Like, just hold on, and process in a safe place with people who you can safely be yourself with. So you can have your feelings, but unfortunately, it is true that there is a time and place. So it sucks, but part of being an adult is recognizing and being responsible for those times on your own.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think the one thing that I wanted to tap into specifically I resonated with everything that you guys said, but just something definitely that Ari said here is about having that space to like express yourself. If I'm feeling that emotion, I'm feeling that emotion for a reason, right? And I think it's an important way, especially because it's Black Women History Month, just to take it into Black families a little bit. I don't know if your grandmother or your mother has ever told you, like, after they've actively given you a reason to cry, to then tell you to stop crying before I give you more of a reason to cry. And then they're diminishing it. It's not that big of a deal. It's not this, it's not that. And I don't know if that ever affected anybody, but in my mind, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm upset. You just hit me. And I'm mad about that. And I'm crying. Because, like, you know what I mean? So I don't know if any of you had that experience or anything. You know what I mean? But I think that's another way to look at it, too. And I think that a lot of people in the Black community were also told to be very tough, put on a hard exterior. Don't let anybody, play with you or whatever. So you have to put up a front of being something that you may not actually be. But when you actually start to talk to people and you share your story, we all have similar stories, similar reasons, that we're feeling this way. And we all could have been resolved it if we just came together and talked about it sooner. But I think that comes into vulnerability, which is something that I know Miss Mila here wanted to speak about, as vulnerability. So I'm going to let her take that one away.
You know me, the vulnerability queen, just kidding. I think there's like two kind of common themes here, right? So I want to talk about vulnerability, but also just like hearing everybody speak, I'm thinking about accountability as well. Accountability as women. I think that's something collectively as women we have to work on, because I think there's a lot of, and some women might not like me for saying that, but it's okay. Not everybody has to like me, because I'm just being real. Like, as women, as individuals, we have to be accountable for ourselves. And I think it's really hard when there's like a mirror being held up to you and like, dang, like I'm not perfect. Like, like I have imperfections. Like that
stings
there's
a little
things.
bit.
It stings. Yeah. There's certain things that sting, and it's uncomfortable, but sitting in that and being accountable for yourselves will help you. That's part of understanding yourself. Like all of our saying, that's part of understanding, like, okay, where is my emotion stemming from, and then how do I regulate it? You can't regulate your emotions if there's no accountability for what you're doing. You know, they kind of go hand in hand. And then as far as vulnerability, I know a few weeks ago I mentioned vulnerability being a strength. I know I was speaking on it specifically in like more so dating context, but in general, I really do believe that being vulnerable is a strength. And I know one of the gentlemen from like a few weeks ago told me like, well, I could see how that would be relevant for women. Being vulnerable is being strong, like, you know, communicating how you're feeling, understanding your feelings. But he was saying, I don't really know how that transfers to men. And I think that absolutely it does transfer to men as well. I think that vulnerability tends to get paired together with weakness, right? Like it kind of like it's viewed synonymously. I think that if you're being vulnerable, you're being weak. Like, you know, you're crying, but that's not always that. Like, being vulnerable can be setting boundaries, can be saying how you feel. It's intimate. It's just expressing yourself to someone. So I kind of want to open that up if anyone wants to say something to that.
Well, before I pass the mic, I do want to say just a little bit of something that, one, yes, I think vulnerability is a powerful thing. And I think women definitely need to be able to, because I feel like after being vulnerable so many times, after, you know, a couple of bad experiences, it may make you want to be closed off to the whole entire situation. You know, I just poured my heart so many times to you know, Sam, Smith, and Bob, and I got burned for all those times. So now Bill comes along, I'm going to have a little bit of a wall up. But I think that also it takes a good man to open up the space for vulnerability. I don't think a woman always has to be the one to start that vulnerable space. I think a guy should make the field open, make you feel comfortable, and maybe lead with his own vulnerability, and then you can lead him to that, and then that'll start the healthy conversation going forward.
But really quickly, I just want to say that it doesn't always have to be man-woman for being vulnerable. You can be vulnerable with yourself to be like, I'm not okay right now. I'm not good right now. I don't always think it needs to be an external, like, I need to be vulnerable with you. You can be vulnerable with yourself. You can turn inward, and I think that's where a lot of this starts from. So I just want to clarify that. And then I also do think it's very, like, it's a cycle, right? We kind of talked about that before, like, hurt people. So it's not always looking to a man. It's not always having to look to a man to be vulnerable so that you then have permission to be vulnerable. It's about us being vulnerable with ourselves so that the other person can meet you in the middle and both feel safe.
I definitely agree with that, and I was just about to mention it, so I'm glad that you said it first, because I could go to the next topic. But that being vulnerable with yourself, because I believe what we're really trying to say with vulnerability is clarity. Being clear about what it is that's going on with you internally and how that is manifested and expressed externally, but especially with yourself first, whether that be with your job, how you feel about your career path, your studies, whatever, and then translating that in the dating scene when it comes to your partnerships, your family. What we're really trying to say is we're looking for that clarity. If you don't express to me exactly what's going on and we're trying to work to build something together, one of us could be working on demolition in the basement and the other person could be working on piping or electricity, and that could cause a catastrophic event, right? That's just like the best analogy I could come up with off the cuff. But it's having that clarity, like we have a goal in mind, whether that's a relationship, whether it's a project, whatever that is, just family connections. If we don't have, again, that clarity, it's always going to be how you perceive the other person based on your limited perception as a human being. We have biases, we have different cultures coming together, even if we're all raised in, let's say, for example, the Black and brown community. The way my mom did things would be totally different the way his or her mom does things, right? So what we're really looking for when we say the word vulnerability, we're looking for clarity and understanding. Seek to understand first before to be understood, because you're pretty comfortable and you should know like who you are and what you're feeling. But now you have to make that extra effort to, I want to understand this person because I care, right? So I think what the word really comes down to is clarity, and of course it is vulnerability. But I think for it to translate better to the men, we're looking for clarity, because a lot of y'all don't have it because y'all weren't given the space or the tools to even work to get to that point. So now we, as your partner, we're trying to figure out what's going on too, because we got our own stuff to work on, you know. And it's just like you said, it doesn't have to be some Hollywood scene of crying and tears and stuff. Let's just sit down and have a discussion with some pizza, or talk about it after you watch Naruto or something. Men love anime. If you could translate anything to anime, they'll fucking listen to you. Like, tell me I'm lying. They treat anime like the gospel. So I'm just saying, you know. But that's my take on it.
I think we make a lot of people responsible for our own emotions, and I can be vulnerable with anybody. You don't have to create the space for me. I carry that wherever I go. I just know where it can be shared. So I don't think that's something that, if it's something that you didn't experience or you didn't like, yes, of course we can grow and learn together, but that's not something that I need you to create for me. That a lot depends also on your image of self and how you view yourself and how you feel about yourself every day. Like, if being vulnerable is synonymous with being weak, then you have a little more work to do. Because I view it as intimacy. I view it as closeness, you know. So, again, I think that's our own responsibility.
Yeah. And just to quickly piggyback off of that, I think that 100% I agree with you. And you guys met me. You met me.
I've been
I'm very much, I call myself like a different breed, because I'm very much like very happy-go-lucky, very vulnerable with pretty much everybody, you know. But I do get into a lot of situations, just to clarify, with other people where I hear other people's stories, or they're like, it's easy to talk to you because you are vulnerable. You create that space for me. And I think that a lot of people, yes. So I think that yes, it is important to work on yourself to be able to be that, but also to have awareness of other people. Not everybody is in that same space. And sometimes other people need a little more encouragement just to be able to bring that out of them, just because of whatever circumstances or situations that they personally have gone through. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. You want to? Okay.
Well said.
I have a different outlook on vulnerability. I appreciate all the comments. I feel like I'm very careful of who I am vulnerable with. For me, I see why people consider it. I don't think it's a weakness, but I see why people say that, because if I know you like this, I could do a lot with that. And you can't trust a lot of people in this world. People will play with your story, your emotions, everything. And don't get me wrong, I know who I am. There's certain things I will say in conversations with people I just met, people, whatever. But I think I'm one of those people that you could have known me for 20 years and not really know me. Because I'm very, very, very careful who's in my circle based off of my life experiences, and I'm very careful of what I take in from people, because that's a lot, and definitely what I give out. But do I have to tell you that? Do I want to? No. I'm not that type.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that's very, very well said. And I know you had a point that you wanted to bring up earlier. I don't know if it's still with you. Is it still with us?
It's with me. It's growing.
It's growing.
It's turned into a monster.
It's turned into a monster.
It
Do
has.
you want to unleash the monster now,
I
or do
will.
you want to wait?
No, I will.
All right, let's hear it.
I will.
Let's hear it.
So I was having a conversation with one of my guy friends a few weeks ago, and we were kind of talking about this whole, like, all of this combined, right? Like creating these safe spaces and understanding yourself and accountability, and just what that looks like. Two people coming to the table essentially. This one, okay. This is like one of the monsters here. I'm sorry, but like, because this is one of my.
She's been waiting to let this out all day just to give you guys some context.
Like,
She's been waiting, so that's why I'm like,
right,
is it time? It's time.
I need to stand up for this one. I have like the okay. So I'm like, no. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, girl, it's okay. Thank you. That's for me to know and for no one to find out. But so something that I deeply believe, and I want to hear everyone else's thoughts about this. I believe this might be controversial, but I believe as women, like when it just again, I'm just gonna bring it back to like dating and like woman man connection, right? And safe spaces and accountability. I truly believe that as women, it is partially our job to create a safe space for that man. Because but I think that like even like coming home, right? Like if a man's coming home, well, as soon as he walks out the door, he has all of societal pressure on him. Everything that comes with being a man instantly, from the moment he wakes out and walks out the door, he has all these pressures. You're supposed to be the breadwinner, you're supposed to be tough, you're not supposed to show emotions, all this stuff. And then he comes home, and what's he supposed to be? He's supposed to be the perfect husband, the perfect father, the perfect whatever, right? And he's still supposed to be strong. But I feel like when men come back home, that kind of thing, like as women, we should be creating that space for them too. You know what I mean? And again, it's not like the crazy like Hollywood scene crying, but it's like I think if a man having a hard day and he comes back home and he's like, babe, like today was crazy. You know what I mean? It's up to us to then, it's not always 50%. Sometimes it's a 70-30, and it's up to us to,
I literally just said that. All right, so I was having a conversation with my friend Queso the other day, right? And we were talking about basically like kind of like standard versus non-standard, like generic like relationship roles and things like that, what men should expect and what women should expect. 100%, I definitely agree that a woman should definitely be able to curate that safe space. But I think that's hand in hand for anybody. I feel like, yes, men have their own separate things that they go through that we definitely should pay attention to, because they do face a lot of different troubles and a lot of hardships that we do not face and that we don't understand. But I think it's for both partners. If you're a partner of any sort, I think it's important for your partner to be able to take on some of the challenges that you're having and to create a safe space for you, whether it's a man or a woman. And I definitely agree. And sometimes it will not be 50-50. Sometimes it'll be 70-30 for a really long time. But I think that the right partner and the person that you're supposed to be with will be willing to do what it takes to make sure that you're in a safe space. I pour into your cup and you pour into mine.
Right, I agree. But I would just challenge that slightly. I don't even know if it's a challenge more so than an add-on. I think that the difference is men do not have the same spaces that women have to go to express themselves, to let that off. Like on one of the few weeks ago podcasts, one of the male panelists was saying, how him and his wife were having a little thing, and she was like, you should go to therapy. He's like, I'm just gonna go to the barbershop. And he was like, but he's like, I'm just gonna go to the barbershop. But he was like, he doesn't always get the right advice or resources when doing that.
Yeah.
So I think like as women, it's easy to be like, hey girl, like guess what this dude just did, like da 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 da, and we're gonna be like, girl, no, like you need me. No, but men are like, oh yeah, bro, like I'm chilling, I'm good. Like I'm learning the lingo out here. I'm sturdy. Is that like still? I'm sturdy. I mean, when you said I'm sturdy, I'm like, who says that? Us West Coasters don't say that, but okay.
My goodness.
Okay,
my goodness.
but like I can't be serious for too long. But y'all know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I think as women we have more, and again, please challenge me on this, but I feel like we have more spaces or more community or even just our close friends to go to and be like, bro, like I'm really not okay. Whereas men, it's like, but you gotta be that dude. Like you gotta be the bro. You gotta be the husband. You gotta be the boyfriend. You gotta be the brother.
I think that goes back to that tough exterior, you put on that fake tough exterior, but you got a lot inside that you want to let out. But does anybody want to tag on to?
I get exactly what you're saying, and I agree with it on a case-by-case basis. And I only say that because like I mentioned before, growing up in a big household with a lot of siblings, you have to learn how to be your own person. Um, and there are some of us that work better in our solitude, and then there are some of us that need that support. And because I have like 10 brothers, I've heard all the heartbreak stories. I've heard when they're vulnerable with someone that they probably should not have been vulnerable with, but they were having a moment, and then they throw that up in their face in an argument or something to degrade or to emasculate them. So I say that also to say to the point that Ari made when she mentioned, I'm particular about who I'm vulnerable with. I'm the same way. I keep my circles small, and my intimate circles, be they romantic or non-romantic, I keep those small because I'm particular about who I'm going to share what with, and when. So that's why I said I agree with it, but I feel like everything should be by case basis. If you're in, just because we're talking about dating specifically, if you are in a relationship where both parties have that maturity and that foundation, 100%, each party should be making that space. I also agree that there needs to be more effort to be put for men specifically because they already struggle to find the space. And part of that is because they were also raised to always look outside themselves. That masculine energy is always like a projection, whereas the feminine energy, we're more internal and into our intuition, where men's intuition's kind of, it's not as aligned. So they need a lot more help. We could definitely support, but for some situations, they also have to go out and find that on their own. It's just going to take more work, yes. We do need to facilitate more, have more patience and understanding, 100%, because we want our divine masculine men to be beside us. We want alignment, but that's hard if they're constantly clinging to us when there's times when we also need our space and solitude, because that's how we work too. So I think it's a case-by-case basis, and there's definitely a balance. Of course, there's always going to be seasons in a relationship where it's going to be 70-30. Maybe sex and intimacy isn't as frequent as it used to be because that's just life. You're going through something. It may feel like, like we don't spend as much time together. Things come up in life. Death of the family, whatever, anything, loss of job. There's ebbs and flows. There's phases and cycles. So go with that. But just to tie it back to the point, yes, definitely put more effort into making that safe space, because if this is someone that you care about, man or woman, you would make that space for them because that's what you want them to facilitate for you when you need it. Because life is going to hit, and you're going to need a team. So.
Yeah, I think you tamed the monster. You tamed the monster.
So
We can. I think we definitely can. If you wanna, you can have somebody pass the mic. Thank you, Queso.
As you said, a lot of key things. Piggying back off the masculinity. Like, say if, it's like a gender role thing, and it's like a double standard thing. Like, we supposed to do this, or a man's supposed to do this, a woman's supposed to show up the way that she should, just like a man. Vice versa. At the same time, it's like, say if a woman struggle with that as well, had to find out, had to get out, didn't have the proper guidance. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a gender role thing, but at the same time, it's like everybody got their own cards to deal with, even if we didn't want that card. At the same time, you can't have accountability without the seriousness, how you show up for somebody. It also reflects on self, character. Everybody got their own definition of character, also their own standpoint and foundation. But if you don't got a strong foundation to stand on, what is truth to you? No matter if you're a man or a woman. Yeah.
Go ahead. You passing or answering? No, go ahead. I feel like you can nothing. Just before Ari speaks real quick, just to tap into that, I think at the basis of everything is understanding.
I think that if you come from a place of understanding, of trying to understand someone, that's half the battle, because I feel like a lot of times it's blame. You don't do this, you don't do that, or you didn't listen to me with this. It may not be that. It's just you got to come from a place of understanding, and that's where the vulnerability comes in. You have to be able to be vulnerable in what you're feeling instead of speaking on actions. But yeah, just to tie it in, I think it all comes down to having an understanding for one another.
Yes, I pretty much agree with everyone said, but I think that I want to address what we're specifically talking about, and we're talking about right now Black men. And I think that it's no secret that Black men definitely most of them were raised to suck it up and, oh, God, pause.
We know what you mean. We know what you mean.
Yeah, I know what I meant. After I said it, I thought about it, like, but y'all know what I meant.
We know.
Y'all are mainly taught to. That's why, right? I know. But y'all are taught to.
That's why y'all can't be vulnerable. We apologize.
Tough exterior.
Oh,
tough
God.
exterior.
That's funny.
You know, putting on a tough exterior.
So you guys are to keep going no matter what. You know, no matter what happens, you lose your job, they'll go make some money somehow. You got a girl, they'll go get another girl. You know what I'm saying? You guys are usually taught to just persevere, but in a negative way, and not fix the problems that are going on. Most Black men were raised like that, and it's a curse and a blessing, because in one aspect you find a way no matter what, right? But then another aspect is like, fix this first, and it's okay to stop and breathe and say that you need whatever therapy you need, regular therapy, the barbershop, weed, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, so that's everybody. But I just wanted to say that about Black men, because we were talking about the women to man connection, and as far as women, we are supposed to be that safe space. Yes, it works both ways, but because what they already have, that's worse compared to us. Yes, that's what our role is. Our role is specifically to be that. The problem is now the household dynamics changed a lot. So we're working just as hard. We sometimes don't get enough back. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that in a point of being vulnerable, where we want y'all to do that, but sometimes the roles are different. So it's almost like, what's my thought? It's almost like we still need more protection in other ways as well, so we can be that. Right? And not
Well
just
said,
physical,
well
but
said.
just, yeah.
Very well said. All right. So lastly, I kind of want to end off with since a lot of us kind of brought this up, especially with vulnerability, but like how you said, when they were vulnerable and then it got thrown in their face and things like that. I want to talk a little bit about how we handle negative energy, negative opinions, and also receiving and actually receiving accountability.
Somebody say something negative about me, I post a fire pic. Because who cares what you just said? I look good. I handle my business. Right. Who cares? I act like it never happened. Somebody say something bad, you just keep sharing funny memes, post a fire pic, act like you don't even know they're there. Then they're going to keep going so crazy, and then you just are like, look what I got them doing.
Who are you though? Who am I?
No, but you know what? You know what that takes me to? What did Rihanna say? She said, on the days you don't know how, you pretend. And I think that energy that you're giving off could help so many people. Because even if you don't believe in that, do it anyway. Make yourself believe that you that big.
That's all you gotta do.
You know, you that
wouldn't
chick,
be talking about you if you
wasn't fire, you wouldn't be in their mouth for real.
So sometimes when somebody say something, I go through my pics like, damn, what I just do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you just didn't like that picture.
Let me do it again.
All right, exactly. That was a good point. I don't know if any of you guys want to say again. Accountability and receiving criticism, receiving negative comments.
Got it. So how you receive criticism. For me, it depends on where I'm at in my headspace. If I'm in a place to receive criticism, I'll take it. It depends, you know. I used to be that person where if it was said by a specific person, I'd just tell them to go fuck themselves. But now I'm that person where not that I'm like super old or anything, but I could say I've lived life enough to experience that sometimes wisdom can come straight out of the enemy's mouth. So
That's true.
just take it, you know. They're giving you arrows for later, if anything. And then to Cassandra's point, how can I put this? I did door-to-door sales for like 2.5, almost 3 years. There's a lot of things that are said in your face. Doors are slammed in your face. If that doesn't build you thick skin, nothing will. That's the hardest type of marketing. And you're living on commission. So you better make a sale. So for you to be like knocking on like 150 doors, right? Playing the numbers game in hopes that someone finally says yes after going through like 50 no's and getting people talk shit at you, you kind of just, they ain't talking to me. I'm looking behind myself like, who that you talking to? What the fuck? Because that ain't me.
No, it's not. I don't hear.
Right.
The word no.
I don't hear the word no. You're definitely not calling me a solicitator because I don't identify as a solicitor.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Me.
That's not me.
I'm your friendly neighbor.
Right. So I feel like going through that kind of like put this mental like game in my head where when someone's talking to me about something that I know is not true, it's different from criticism. I can take criticism again. Just depends on time, place, and where I'm at mentally and emotionally. But when it comes to something that's completely not true, and they're trying to character assassinate me, right? I'm like, no, honey, now you're just talking about something that you built in your own head. You built this whole other character that's not me because you don't know me.
Yeah.
You built this whole other character and you think you're just going to talk all this stuff about me? Be about your business because I ain't got the energy, time, and I don't want to waste it on you. 100%. And I just move on. 100%. But I feel like that kind of like helped me build that mental state in my mind. Like, they didn't slam the door at me. They didn't call me a solicitator. They didn't call me a scammer. That was somebody else. That wasn't me because I ain't any of them things. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that kind of like helped me understand like they have a procession of someone knocking on their door. This is someone trying to make me sign a signature and take my money. And I'm anything but that.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to see if it makes sense for you. Then we can talk about giving me your money and your social.
But let me just have a conversation first. You know, we're just getting to know each other for real. Yes.
Okay. So, I'm sorry.
You can.
Okay. So, criticism, I think, is like, I used to be one of those people that I would respond like, what? You don't know what you're talking about? You know, and then I had to realize how much energy it took. And no matter what you do, people are always going to have something to say. You could have fed 100 homeless people. You could have did everything you could have did. They would have said, oh, they didn't feed that one last person. You know, it's
no, for real.
It's ridiculous. Like, it's really sad. So I had to learn, like, it's just, you know, I had to learn to just not care. You really can't care what people say. But I will say accountability is a big one for me. In that same breath, we have to hold people accountable for their actions and their words. And I wholeheartedly believe that when you go low, we're going to go to hell. We're going to go to hell because that's different. Criticism is one thing, but different. When you do something over the top or ridiculous, when it pertains to, let's say, your family or just when it's just too much, you have to be brought back down to, you got to meet people where they at sometime. And I know, because if you don't teach people how to act and calm them down, they'll get worse.
Yeah, teach people how to treat you.
I enjoy watching a good crash out, so not my own though. So like you're saying, like you don't pay them any mind. They're gonna continue to go and make a fool out of themselves, and they're gonna keep going and going. And if you don't care and you're just sitting back, you're like, I didn't even have to touch or do nothing. I didn't have to type a letter, make a phone call, send a text, take a screenshot, hit a group chat. They just crashed out all by themselves. And then they start, like you said, making up stuff. I done heard things about myself that I didn't even know. I was like, oh my God, I do that? That's so crazy. I love you. You know, like, you just, who cares? Now, if it's somebody that I care about, or I may even ask you to give me some, is there anything, you know, that's a whole different thing. But, like, people just talking negative, that's just a waste of time.
No, 100%. No, I really love you because you really are just like, and so what else about it? Like, I love that. And you know, you gotta build that type of, you know, some people you gotta build that type of mentality, but I love that. So I think we're gonna open it up for some other people who want to speak. I don't know if Casey, you want to grab them? Quesito, hey.
I'm Trey.
Hi, how are you?
You heard my name?
Nope, go ahead. Tell me one more time.
I'm Trey.
Trey? With a T.
Yeah, with a T.
All right. Hi, Trey.
As far as what y'all discussing right here, right? You never let nothing outside of you control you. Once you realize that, you'll be all set. People give words power. There's no such thing as a fighting word. Somebody want to feel people punch me in my mouth. That's it. Because once you get them, they ain't really want it. That's why they're talking.
They just want to get your reactions for real.
That's it. You're allowing something outside of you to control you. Don't never let that happen.
I respect that. No, and then we're gonna have one for you, waiting right for you. But I appreciate you saying that. I think that is a very good point to definitely bring up. I don't know if anybody else. She see me looking at her. I know you chime in, tap in with me. Lil, tap in with me. Well, let me ask you a specific question then. Fair? I want to ask you specifically a question. How do you take criticism? Yeah, Mila said no pressure. Just wanted to know, how do you personally take criticism? And if you didn't take it well in the beginning, what was the process to you learning how to take criticism?
I think now I take criticism. Before, if I didn't believe what the person was saying, I would go on. But now, have a conversation about it, agree, you know, I just take it.
That's fair. That's 100% fair. Just kind of filtering through what I really need to take in and what I don't need to.
Yeah.
I respect that. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, and so to end it off, I think this is the end of the segment. You guys have been just great. Can we clap it up for the ladies? Thank you. Absolutely great.
But yes, so come out Saturday, May 17th at the Q House. I'll have more flyers, information, and interviews for vendors and performers next week.
That's it. I got a question.
Wait, there was a question for address for auditions. So there's going to be live auditions and virtual auditions for the talent competition. So live auditions will be here. And I know specifically for 20, there's extra space for live auditions.
1, 2, 3. Okay, we're better. Anyways, come to my event May 24th. It's in West Haven. It's called First Impressions. It's an immersive dating experience. We're gonna have vendors. We're having like artists doing live art. We have a talent competition at the end. Cash prize for first place. We have some amazing guest speakers coming, and it's gonna be a vibe, you know. So pull up. Okay.
It's going to West Haven. Anywhere on West Haven?
It's at, just walk around West Haven. I'll come find you. It's Trey, right? Trey with the T. So I'll be like, hey, yo, has anyone seen Trey? He's looking for first surprise. No, it's at the building complex. I think it's 150 Front Avenue.
That's Gorilla Lemonade. That's a vendor also, maybe.
Taking vendors. So if you would like to be a vendor, let me know. Okay, that's it. See y'all May 24th.
Yes. It's going to be a super dope event. I'm doing the
She's doing decorations.
She reads my mind all the time, y'all. For those who don't know, Mila is like my sister. She be in my head for real, y'all. She like lives here rent free. She be finishing my sentences. I be finishing her sentences. It's up and it's stuck with us. But yeah, I'll be doing the decorations for First Impressions along with a couple other little things. And also to mention the talent competition that's happening on that day. We're hosting auditions here. So stay tuned in for those auditions for that date. And then I'm going to let Miss Ari talk about her events.
So y'all know it's the 5th annual New Haven Mental Health Awareness Fair this May Saturday, May 17th at the Q House. Look at him, everybody. Trey. Because but you know what? I want to shout him out real quick. Trey has been there since the first mental health fair. Before he was even with Gorilla Lemonade, just on his own. And I appreciate him because we didn't have that many male speakers, black men especially. So his story is very, very inspirational. So you better be there again, speaking and vending. Oh, okay, because he's definitely doing something. Okay. But yes, so come out Saturday, May 17th at the Q House. I'll have more flyers with information and inquiries for vendors and performers next week.
Yes.
Well, that's it. I got a question.
Wait, there was a question for address for auditions. So there's going to be live auditions and virtual auditions for the talent competition. So live auditions will be here. And I know specifically for 20, there's extra space for live auditions.
60 Connolly.
Could you say that a little louder? 60 Connolly Parkway. I remember! Hey! Okay, 60. Sorry, y'all. I had too much caffeine today. 60 Connolly Parkway. And leave me alone. The virtual I'm tired, y'all. I'm sleep deprived. The virtual auditions are through a form. So if you want to just submit like a 60-second audition, let me know. I have the form. And I also have flyers here for the event and for the competition. So.
Yes. And just to mention also at this address, the address that she just blurted out, because I also forgot. I also had a lot of caffeine today. But yes, we're doing a big event here on 420. I know it's Easter, but we're going to be having a big munchie market, basically. So lots of vendors here. You guys can pull up. They're going to have some, hopefully some infused foods and a lot of different things, a mix and mingle. And we're also going to be doing some content for First Impressions, just maybe flowing through, asking people a little bit about how they feel about dating and their dating experiences. But yeah, lots to look forward to. But thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And I think that's it for us. But yeah, definitely going to do another full female panel again, I think.
Definitely. Yes.
I definitely think this was great and can't wait to do it again. Can we all peace? 1, 2, 3.
Codependency. Codependent. Walking my independency. Relations of relation meet expectations. Occasions, abrasions, conflicted situations, bait into hate, consciously seeking, date to make resolving traumas. How gift treat the commas, when commas is their karma, puppets a drama. Sheep was never cousins to llamas, paragomas. God consecrate me. We're born Madonna, Hakuna Matata. Generations tying, villages, bloodline to roots, climb my branches, dine what utensils, feed my truth. The Last Supper, Judas also ate too. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Hear the foot, burn the wound, bruise for bruise. Joseph of jealousy, brothers or sisters, sons from daughters, fathers to mothers, slaves with masters, free but raves take advantage, slave trade. 50 shades of 50 shades, men of 50 shades, divide what men makes. Willie Lynch my letters. I was never cargo, persuade follow the ship oceans to swallow. Some glow I follow, and currents I wallow. When papers signify, I testify. They crucify to intensify, magnify, I clarify. Solidified. Bottom of the barrel, I co-sign. Equipped to bind. Wine to dine, I change my mind. Register a registry. When equal exchange never follow, I call it mockery. TikTok copy me. I copyright. I'm shallow. They hallow to never see what's fragile. Disappointment of sorrows. To carry, to think I miscarry. To be married but married. Backsided, misguided, I hide it. Judge me. I'm indicted. With cell rules mimic mentally ill, never to find it, confided to never mind it, to be reminded, to recite it, underdog me, to study without attendance, of the study without attendance, to school me, test me, answer to my silence, I plead the fifth, I dismiss, acquitted, I never insist, backdoor me, I can never miss, locksmith me, break me open, my doors revolving steps. Glass doors ignore reflection I see. I looked in the mirror, I look in the mirror. Find me to size me, I cry me, always to deny me. I fight it. Could they ever word cited? Lift my waist, spot me. Get behind it. Carry when the scale measure my balance. I'm distracted, focused never to be poker at its finest. I'm the kindest. Smell my candle, I light it. Roma, heat in my coma. I live to loan it, I own it, misunderstood. What would but could, but never should. I thought I would. Cut my wood more than wood. Fire logs that undertook. Daddy to brainwash, my son to dishwash. Clean dish cover by wish wash. You can never superstish with the wish. Understand was never understood. Mind to men, catch my whiffs. Mother me, downplay my motherhood. To think there's no fatherhood. Perceived deception, product of black neighborhood. My childhood, morals that's overbaked but undercooked. Value birth in the way. Grounded to ground, shake my rounds, chains wrapped to bounds. Timothy speaks mentally sound. Piece together my finds I found, now straighten my crown. Circus of men, dressed the clown. Magic trick fool my hands, motion to stroking. Soak the draw pen, I'm sunken. Best friend me all of a sudden, the devil is so cunning. Toe taking, shape shifting, cups and fluids, drinks and drugging. Lots of flesh hunting. Shutting to shutting, mistake love bombing, how stunning. Stunting to shutting to nothing, life of abundance. Obedience conveniently never confronted. I'm never above it. Humbly to invest, I so funded copy receipts. Never to refund me. To buy it, I might be. Cloud Chase can't buy it. I'm subject, project to reject. My rejection, my reflection, my self-reflection. My protection, no regret, manipulative submission. I'm risen, son of David, faith of remissions, commission seasons of visions, dreams of exception, friction of acceptance. I ingest it, I digest it, I intake it, I fed it, I don't need it. To say you fix, find a fix. Responsibly stitch my niche, judge my addiction. Judge my addiction, misjudge to misjudge, but can't fix. I will dismiss, I can't fix. To list no sorries, to regrets, excited to push. I'm a force to be reckoned with.